Okay, it's 9 o'clock, so we're gonna start now. My name is Erika. I just finished my second grade of health sciences at the University of Ottawa, and I'm taking a summer class in gerontology. So it's fun because I have the opportunity to do a placement with Connections Resources Center. So I will be doing activities, four different. So today, Wednesday, and then next week, Monday and Wednesday. So today is the do-it-yourself bird feeder. What you will need is a juice or a milk carton. You can also use like a pop bottle, a water bottle. It all depends of the size you want it to be. And then I just place like paper for like the paint so it doesn't go everywhere. You can use newspaper, whatever you have. And then to decorate it, we'll be using either paint or markers. So if you don't really want to paint, you can just draw on it. You'll also need, well, if you're using paint brushes, I have this little container where I put all my paints, scissors because we're going to be doing like windows. And then if you want to have like sort of a stand for the birds, you can use either branches or a spatula. Like I'm gonna use a wood spatula and then I'll just have it like that. And it's really up to you. And then to hang it, you can use like garden cord or crafting cord, whatever you have. So this is like sort of an example of what I made. So I cut the windows on the side, and then here there's little holes, and that's where I put like my wood or like my spatula, and then I would like hang it from here. So you can, I'll give you a few minutes to get if you're missing any material, and then we can start. So what I like to do is I take a Sharpie and I draw where I want my windows just so it's easier to cut out. You can put your windows wherever you want them. I like to have them like one on each side, but you can have them like one in front, one on the back, or like on the sides, whatever you feel like is nice. You can also pick the like the shape you want. Like on my example, I did rectangles, but you can do circles. Like even if you're really good at cutting, you can go and do like fancier. I'm just gonna do like rectangles once again, and I'm gonna do both on each side. And the size is really up to you. Also, maybe just leave enough space under so that you can put like holes for your branches or your spatula. And what I find the easiest way to cut, because I know it can be hard since it's like kind of awkward, I like to just like puncture a hole in the middle of where I drew. And then it's easier to like cut. And then once it's all cut, you can make it straighter or fix however you want it. an X-Acto knife, that's a really good idea. What's fun about these, you can really have like any size you want, so you can even make different ones. And like if you want to attract lots of birds, you can make some that are smaller, some that are bigger. Oh, also, if you haven't taken it off before, you can also like leave this hanging if you want. It makes sort of like a door and it just hangs there. I'm gonna remove it, but if you want to leave it, that's fine too. Yeah, I have pretty much the same birds as you, Natalie. And yeah, they came out early. I find like I could hear them. And there's lots, yeah. So I rinsed out the juice and there's still the water. I'll just empty it. Okay. Oops. And then you can also, before we decorate our bird feeder, you can draw, or we can cut them out right now actually. If you were planning on putting branches or the spatula, like some sort of stand for the birds, maybe we can do that right now. That way, once we paint and draw, they'll already be there. So I'm just gonna go and draw 2 little circles right here under each of my windows, and then that way I can just put my spatula like just straight out like this. And you can also put more than one, like if you want to put a few branches, like high, low, 2 on the bottom, it's totally up to you. And you can use scissors to cut that. I have this little tool. It's just easier for me to do the hole with. Okay, so if everyone is done doing the windows and their holes, so now basically we can just decorate it. I keep the cap, that's up to you. Like if you do remove it, you'll have a hole, but it doesn't really matter. And also, if you're using, I just thought about this, if you're using like a pop bottle, it's really the same idea. You just pick a side where you want to put a hole. It is like if you're using like the smaller bottles, so obviously it's smaller, not as wide, but same thing, just cut a hole wherever you want to have like where you want to put the seeds in. And maybe like I wouldn't put 2 windows if you're using the smaller bottles, just because they're not as wide. But if you're using the 2-liter pop bottles, you can for sure put 2 windows because it's about the same as this. But it's really all the same idea. So what I'm gonna do, I'm going to paint everything one color. I'll do it white, and then I'm gonna add like small details. So I'll just put my paint in my container here, and then I'll start painting. And you can do like whatever designs you want. I'm not the best, so I like to keep it simple. Oops. But if you're better than me, go ahead and make it like more fancy. And I'm gonna do it white. That way it's easier to see the drawings I'll do after. And actually, Natalie was saying the kind of bird she sees. It's actually interesting. There's over 350 species in eastern Canada, and there's over 400 bird species in western Canada. So there's quite a bit of birds. And while you're painting, I like to keep a little spot just so that I can hold it without getting paint. So I like to keep it like on the side here. That way I can paint everything while holding it. And this is for pretty much any birds. Like obviously depending what kind of seed you use, you'll attract different kind of birds. But like my favorite bird is the hummingbird, and obviously this won't attract hummingbirds, but like you can also make some like that are different for hummingbirds because they drink the nectar, and I find those are really beautiful birds. And it's actually interesting because the name hummingbird comes from the humming noise that they're like when they fly, the sound that it makes. And I also notice when the hummingbirds, like at my cottage, I have a feeder for the hummingbirds, and when they come, like they go really fast. Like you see it and you're like, oh look, and then it's gone. But actually, what's interesting is that the way they drink the nectar found in the feeder is by moving their tongue 13 times per second. So that's why it's like so fast. Also, if you put like the paint really thick, it's gonna take a lot longer to dry. I'm just doing a pretty thin layer. You can, if you want, you can go ahead and do a second layer, like if it's not dark enough for you. Me, I'm just gonna do one layer. That way I have the time to finish everything and put the other details. What's fun about these, it's pretty much all recycled materials. The only thing that like you have to buy is the seeds, but you can actually if you Google it, I can even put a link after this live. You can actually make your own sort of mixtures of seeds. So like I know with the lockdown and stuff, all the stores are closed. It's hard to buy stuff, but you can actually make your own, which is quite interesting. And if you're painting and you like want a color but that like you don't have it, so let's say you have green but you want a darker green, you can just add like a little drop of black to make it darker. If you want it lighter, you can add a bit of white and it'll make it lighter. So you can play with your colors too if you're missing some colors. Okay, so now that I'm done putting white all around, I'm gonna I'm going to draw a sun, and I'm maybe gonna add some little flowers just to put some color on it. So the best way to attract birds to your garden is by having native plants that provide seeds, berries, and insects. Those are the best and most natural way to offer food for wild birds. And you can supplement that by making feeders. Also, when you're going to put your feeder out, don't put it too close of like your door, just because like let's say you open the door and they're there, you might scare them off and they might not come back. So it's better off if it's a bit further away from the door. That way, like if they're there when you go out, there's no like you're not scaring them, or just it's better, I think. And also for the seeds, the most popular bird seed is the black oil sunflower, and it attracts of like many types of birds, and that can be found like Canadian Tire, Home Hardware, Walmart. Like if you don't already have your seeds, that's a kind of seed that like lots of birds eat. So I'll just wait a few minutes since it's still wet. And also, when you're going to hang your feeder, you want to make sure that it's somewhere where like predators can't get to it. So you want it about eye level or a bit above. Don't put it like too low to the ground where a cat could get to it, or somewhere where a squirrel could jump into it. You really want it to be somewhere where the birds see it, but that can't really, like, not other animals can really get into it. Like, I like to place mine near my garden, but it's really up to you where. Maybe you want to have it so that when you're sitting in your living room, you can see the birds come. It's totally up to you where you want to put it. And if after putting your bird feeder out and you notice like the seeds, there's still the same amount, so that birds haven't come, maybe consider changing its spots, because sometimes the birds don't see it or they don't feel safe where it is. So maybe change its spots, and then see if the birds are coming. If they're still not coming, change it again. Like, it might take a bit of time um, before that you can, um, like, before the birds notice it. But once they see it, they'll keep coming. Like at my cottage, I had the hummingbird feeder, and the hummingbirds weren't coming, but then all of a sudden they started coming. Just seeing the chat. Yeah, I don't see many hummingbirds. I live in Orleans, and I don't see that many in Orleans, but my cottage is it's actually in the Uruguay region, just about 15 minutes from Shawville, and I see lots of hummingbirds there. Yeah, definitely using bright colors will attract the birds. Thank you, Danielle, for the information. Also, I saw that I've never tried it, but apparently, if you have like a bird bath in your garden or your backyard, sometimes the birds like that and they know that you have that, so they'll come more often. I don't know if it really works. I never tried it, but that's what I saw. I used to have lots of birds in my backyard, but I just got a puppy and he likes to chase them. So it kind of scares the birds off. They still come a bit, but when the dog is out, not as much. I don't see many of these. Um, the bald eagle, I do see it during the summer in my cottage, but not really here in Orleans, but it's actually the largest bird in Canada. Yeah, we like when he scares off the blackbirds because they're putting all the poops everywhere around my pool, but um, the other birds are nice. So I saw one this weekend. It was like almost orange, very bright and small. It was very cute. And actually, after this call, I saw a website where, like me, often I see birds, but like I don't know their names unless it's common birds. And there's actually this website where basically you can like go by the color of the bird and the size or where you saw it, and it'll give you, like if you search bluebird, it'll give you all the bluebirds that are in your region. So it's pretty cool because like like me, I often wonder what kind of bird is it when I see it. So with this website, you just have to put the color and it gives you all the types. So then you see the picture and you can associate it to what you saw. So I just drew a sun and some flowers. Um, Now on the other side, I think I'm gonna go more a bit like blue, purple colors. Yeah, I'll put the website after. Oh wow, that's super interesting about the hummingbirds. I didn't know that they could recognize people. Maybe that's why they keep coming at my cottage. You can also make your own nectar for them. Um, Last year I bought it in a bottle, but you can make it, so that's fun too. And what can also help to attract them if you have trees in your backyard and um, like if they're able to make their nest, I'll for sure attract them. Last summer I have a small tree and they, I forget what bird it was, but they made a nest and there was four little birdies. They were so cute. It was like obviously we didn't want to bother them, but when the mother wasn't there, we would just like peek a bit, and it was cool to see them grow. But when the mother was there, she wasn't too happy. It was tricky because where the tree is where my my fence is to go into my backyard. So every time we would go, if we didn't like check, it would scare off the mother. Okay, so I see that it's 9:30. Um, I'll just finish off this side and then I'll show you guys like the next step to doing it, so that even if like you're not done painting, you can finish painting and then do the steps, just so that I don't go too late into this live. So I'm just drawing clouds and some tulips. Okay. So this is what mine kind of looks like. I did a sun, some flowers, not the best, um, some clouds and some tulips. I might add a bit of details on the sides just so that it's more colorful. So basically the next step um, is to make a hole like here on top in the middle, and then you can put your cord and then you can put a cord and then tie it wherever you want it. You can also sort of do it around the cap, but I don't find it as convenient or even easy. It's harder. So the best way really is to make your hole on top and then just put your cord. I know it can be a bit hard to put your hole up here. So you can also, if you have crazy glue or hot glue, you can glue it like inside. There's a little crease, both sides. Like, just you can just like glue it inside like this if you want. I don't know if it's gonna stay as well, so I would consider like you put it in here. Okay. Mine. When I did my hole, it actually ripped, but it still like holds. I'll have to fix it. But and then you just like whatever cut it. It depends where you put it for the length of your cord. Like up to you. And then just tie a knot, and then you can hang it, and then you can put your spatula or your branches. So we get the hole big enough. There we go. Now I saw that somebody asked, like Natalie asked about the rain. That's a good question. What you can do, I know that like some sheds or stuff like that, they kind of, the roof kind of like goes a bit out. So you could like hang it under there so the rain doesn't really get to it. Or if you have sort of a balcony and it's like covered, I guess you can hang it there. It's true about the rain. Although it like it's cardboard, but it's there's still liquid that goes into here, and it's still pretty good. So it's hard to say. What I know that the paint, my paint is acrylic, and the rain doesn't really wash it off. Although you can buy like a sealer and just you just spray it, or there's one that it's like you sort of paint it on, and it will protect it from the rain. But so basically, I didn't put the cord. I forgot. Perfect. Just tie it. Also, it's a really sunny day today, so you can go install your bird feeder. Why is this not? Okay, anyways. basically you'll have your knot and then it'll just hang. So this is the final product. Super cute. So I recommend hanging it first. Like find where you want to put it, and once that it's like stable, then put your seeds in. That way, like there's no like it won't fall or you won't make a mess. So once it's where you want it, then you can put your seeds in, and then good to go. And I hope that birds will come. I hope that you enjoyed this activity. Uh, yeah, definitely. If you want to make more, you just remember that if you have more than one in your backyard, you want to have them like at least 3 to 4 feet apart, just because some birds can like be like, no, this is mine. So by having them apart, there'll not be any like fighting or like they know which one is theirs. And it's cool. You can also make like small, big, different sizes. Super cool. So I hope you enjoyed. And on Wednesday, I'll be doing a canvas painting. So have a great day. Enjoy the sun. And thank you for joining me.